you're up.
All right.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. Guest Dave Workman today. We're coming to you live in about 3.5 minutes or so, thereabouts.
Still want the 60?
Yeah, please.
All right. All right, we are close to close.
Close to close. Close to close, everybody. Close to close. Close to close.
And 60.
Got that up in 2 seconds to spare.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now, 6 minutes after the hour. Welcome inside the CZ Studios with me, Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day, because they hate us doing it. And, well, we don't like them either. That's why we do it every single day. It's all brought to you by the National Rifle Association. In addition to that, we're here in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone. I got the Patriot Mobile hat on today, Greg. My kid was successful in taking it from me the other day. How you doing, Greg?
Not too bad. Here we are Thursday. It means I can smell the weekend.
Yeah, I know you can smell the weekend. So here's the deal. I'll do the Facebook deal. We're live on Facebook for everybody at facebook.com/Armed American Radio. You can watch the stream. It's really fun to watch. It's getting better every single day. Greg, I'll let you do your deal on the YouTube and X thing and the chat and all that fun stuff. Then we'll go to our guest, Dave Workman. Where are we even going to go with Dave? My gosh.
So many places.
Woo! We'll just let him run the show.
Yeah, there you
Dave,
go.
we'll get to you in just a second. Greg, do your thing, and we'll get fired up.
Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. If you want to watch us on X, we're at AAR Mark. And lastly, to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
First time I've ever yawned on camera. Better get a sip of this Celsius right now.
Better do some. You almost spit it all over the camera, didn't you?
That was bad timing. Dave Workman in Bellevue, Washington. How you doing, my brother?
Well, I'm okay. That was kind of an interesting lead in.
Yeah, Greg was talking, and all of a sudden I had a yawn come out. You know, it's one of them things. I couldn't stop it. I'm looking at this Celsius with 240 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, better get a sip of that quick if I'm going to be yawning on the air today. How you
by
doing?
the way,
oh, go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, by the way, that's twice I expected Dave to say I'm just sneaking by, but he didn't hit me with it either time.
Oh, yeah. Well, not too bad for an old guy. Let me put it that way. How's that? Dave, you're well known on the show. My mom's favorite guest for a reason. What's the weather?
Yeah, well,
it's
nice to be back. I'll tell you, it's nice to be back here because I can see that you two guys need some adult supervision.
You should have been here a few days ago when we covered the story of the guy with the World War I bomb up his keister. That was absolutely hilarious.
I know all about that.
Isn't that crazy? Do you have any theories on that? Was that just a party trick gone awry, or was that a lot of drugs and a really good party?
I am not saying a thing.
That's probably a good thing. Oh, good heavens. Dave, I met let me start with the weather. I got to know what the weather is in beautiful Bellevue, Washington right now.
Right now, I'm looking at broken clouds, some blue sky. It is actually 61 degrees at my house today.
Well, I'll take that.
And there really ought to be about 6 inches of snow there and about 20 feet of snow up in the mountains. And I'm getting a little worried. You know, we need a good snowpack or we're going to have a bad fire season.
Yeah, Al Gore must have been right all those years ago. No, if he was right, we'd all be dead.
Yep.
The only person living would be Greta Thunberg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be all by herself on a boat somewhere not knowing what to do, but that's
and
okay.
Somalis.
And Somalis. Somalis. Well, I just repeated it and then it hit me. So, Dave, I wasn't kidding. You know, where do I even start with you? My gosh. Let's, wow. Since we spoke last, there's just a lot of noise out there right now.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of bad news floating around. Of course, I don't know that we need to delve into what's going on in Minnesota right now, but the gun control people, they're getting busy in California and in Oregon and Washington. You probably know I did a story yesterday in the Gun Mag that talked about some of the legislation coming up, and then I also got a story posted over at AmmoLand News about how the anti-gunners in state legislatures are trying to price people. They're trying to bankrupt gun owners by requiring to get new permits. They're going to charge more. It's nuts. They're really going after the wallets of the gun owners in Oregon and Washington with new proposed fees. They want to jack up the price of a concealed pistol license in Washington by $100.
That's racist.
Well, it's also robbery.
Well, it is robbery, but it's also racist. Listen, we can make that argument all day long. In fact, John Lott has. Who does that price out? It prices out lower income Americans.
That's right. The lower income people and people on fixed incomes. And down in Oregon, there's a proposal to raise the cost of a permit to purchase a firearm from $65 to $150. Now, here again, this kind of legislation is designed to really price people out of their Second Amendment rights. It discourages people from even trying to buy a firearm because, in some households, they're just scraping by week to week to week. And you find a lot of those households in Democrat-run states where the taxes are just exorbitant, cost of living is exorbitant, and they don't want you having a firearm.
Vis-a-vis where you are, all right, in Washington. that is not a cheap area to live. Now, as I'm listening to you, I always take notes on air, particularly when I'm listening to you, because we're going to cover a lot of ground with this. And when you look at the $65 to $150 increase, and I'm going to throw a theory out that just popped in my head when you were saying it as I was writing it. The gun industry is down now. Sales are down about 47 to 52%, depending on where you look. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they know that. So and you didn't even mention Virginia's 11% excise tax, which is already working its way through the legislature there. So I was getting to it. Yeah, and we're going to get to New Mexico as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an action-packed hour. Buckle in; it flies by. You know that they're doing the same thing in New Mexico, where they're going to a bill is up now to ban all gas firearms. That's every semi-automatic pistol. Anything that takes a detachable magazine, that's your pistol, ladies and gentlemen. New Mexico's a mess. But let's get back to that price for a minute. As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, so could it be, hey, guys, the firearms industry's hurting. Let's jack up the price to purchase for a permit. Now, that's an infringement. Guys, we're not talking about a concealed carry permit here. We're talking about you having to get a license to even buy a gun to jack that up. If they're successful, what does that do to the firearms industry that's already down?
Puts them out of business. It's designed to hurt them really bad.
Of course.
But, at the boots on the ground level, the whole idea there is to discourage people from exercising their rights under the Second Amendment and whatever state constitutional provision they have. Now, you touched on a subject that is so egregious that the Supreme Court ought to weigh in right now and say, look, you guys can't do that. The notion that a citizen of the United States should have to first obtain a permit to buy a firearm from some local police agency or the state police or the county sheriff or some branch of government in order to exercise a constitutionally enumerated fundamental right that just stinks out loud.
That way they can be bought back.
They're doing this to see if they can get away with it.
Oh, sure they are. Oh, look, Dave.
Tie up the courts for quite a while.
Years and years to come. None of this passes the Bruin test. None of it does, but they don't care. Greg, you jumped in, and what did you say? Let's get that to Dave as well.
Yeah, I just said that way they can officially be bought back by law enforcement agencies without there being any controversy of you never sold them in the first place.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds, Dave. Let me take us to the break with this, and then we come back. We'll continue the conversation.
Okay, go ahead.
We have a lot of places I want to go with you. You've got some great articles up at Ammo Land, the Gun Mag, also at Liberty Park Press, plus all of the, the Virginia and everything else. And, are we going to go to Minnesota? If we have time, we'll go to Minnesota because I would like to get your thoughts on what's going on up there as well. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot happening right now. And Dave Workman will be here after the break to tell us about it. Yeah. None of this passes the Bruin test. None of it does. And they know it, but they just don't care. And Dave just nailed it, as he always does. Ties us up in court for what could be decades with an S. That's plural. And they know it. And it's incredibly expensive. We'll be back with Dave. Don't go away.
National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to do that. And as you listen to this conversation today, please understand how important it is that you get in the pool with us, okay? The water is warm, and we need your help. The NRA, as I mentioned yesterday, I had some lengthy conversations with top brass at the NRA yesterday, and there was a lot going on, and we need you in the fight with us. And it's as simple as $35 for an annual membership. If you can go 3-year, 5-year life, that's even better. Just visit nra.org/AAR for all the prices over there and join us. You get a great discount, and you're in the fight. We need you in the mix, okay? Please visit nra.org/AAR. It is imperative that we have to band together here, ladies and gentlemen. It's incumbent upon us. No one's coming to save us. It's us. It's like that in life anyway, isn't it? Nobody's coming to save us. We need to do this together. Please visit all of our partners. You can find all of our great sponsors at armedamericanradio.com, armedamericanradio.com. Greg, let's go back to Dave Workman. Dave, I see Greg up on screen. It distracts me because there he is. I'm actually watching him. Hi. There you go. Dave Workman, welcome back in, brother. Let's keep this going. But
well, it's nice to be here.
I got to go to Minnesota with you, but I'm not going to go back to Alex Preddy's boneheaded decision to involve himself in law enforcement. I'll just ask quick. I think you agree with me on that.
Well, I'm not sure what you said.
He put himself. Did Alex Preddy put himself in a position by involving himself in law enforcement? That's my question. Sorry for not clarifying.
Well, yeah, he did. I've looked at the videos from, all the different videos from several different angles. And let's just say I believe that is a shooting that should never have happened.
Agreed. We'll leave it at that.
On both sides.
Now, let's go to in a more recent context, let's go to Judge Jeanine Pirro's comments. And I guess right after Kristi Noem and Kash Patel stepped in it and then walked it back.
Right.
Then Judge Pirro's out there. I'd like your thoughts on Judge Pirro's comments as well, and then we'll end Minnesota.
Well,
I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's pretty well established that Jeanine Pirro is a dog nuts pro-gun person. She was one of the victims some years ago, and I even wrote about this, of a newspaper article that identified a whole bunch of people with gun permits in the area where she lived. And I think she was rightfully PO'd about that. Mm-hmm. Now, regarding what she said about somebody bringing a gun into the District of Columbia, they're going to get arrested. I played a little devil's advocate yesterday on social media when I spotted that because, frankly, what she said was, it was kind of dumb. And maybe not what but the way she said it. Mm-hmm. And let's step back a little bit. Jeanine Pirro is the law enforcement person in the District of Columbia. And the District of Columbia, if you bring a firearm in there that is not licensed and registered in the district, and you bring that gun into the district, you really do face arrest. You could do that. And whether we like it or not, it's Pirro's job to enforce the existing laws in D.C. She could have been far more diplomatic about explaining what would happen. But she wasn't. I mean, Jeanine Pirro, we've seen her on TV on Fox. There are occasions when diplomacy just ain't there. But, let's give her a little bit of due. People in situations like hers frequently say things that 10 minutes later they could look in the mirror and say, that was kind of stupid. What she could have done was simply explain, hey, this is what the law is. If you'd like to get it changed, I can live with that because my job is to enforce existing law. Now, would I ever pack a firearm going into the District of Columbia? Probably not, not unless I was licensed to carry in the District of Columbia, which I don't think a non-resident can get one of those licenses.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I simply wouldn't do it because I don't want to be first in line at the jail food taste test.
No, I don't want to be that test case either. And here's the interesting part about that. Here's what she should have said. Nothing. I don't know what prompted her to say that, particularly after Kristi Noem and Kash Patel caught so much flack. I'm still racking my head wondering over the last couple days about why it even came up to begin with. What prompted that? I can't find anything that made her.
Yeah, I'm not sure
that.
what the context was, why she even made a statement like that.
Because now you have
unnecessary.
Well, I will give her the credit here. Okay, she did walk it back, as did Kristi Noem, as did Kash Patel, as did Carolyn Levitt for Trump's comments. Everybody got forced to walk it back. And here's why, and here's the good thing. And so did Pirro, because of pressure from people like us, from organizations that put pressure on them. And it would have just been advisable to say nothing. Now, I do believe Kristi Noem, and I do believe Kash Patel. Now, I know Kash Patel. I don't know Kristi. I have met her, but I can't say I know her. I know they're pro-gun. And I believe that they made those statements because of the media pressure and because Trump himself had said, and we all know Trump just speaks off the cuff, man. He just does. When he said, you can't do that, he was questioning and asking rhetorically out loud, why did he do that? You guys, you can't take a gun to a protest like that. That's just Trump being Trump. And I don't think Trump said he wasn't attacking the Second Amendment. He was questioning why Preddy involved himself in law enforcement activity when he knew he was armed. That's what Trump was doing. And that gave cover for Noem and Kash to say what they said. Then they had to walk it back. But Pirro, I have no earthly idea why she said what she said. It made no sense, particularly on the heels of that. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I can't explain it either, but
kind of weird.
I will predict this. 6 months from now, nobody's going to remember it.
Well, I hope you're right, because midterms, the implications for the midterms are going to be huge. And what they don't want to do is anger gun owners right now coming into a critical midterm season. Critical. So it was just stupid all the way around. But they got called out for it, and I think they learned a lesson. And, here's how I answer the rest of it. Would you rather have Kamala Harris and her ilk running the show, or the crew we got now that steps in it from time to time? I'll take this crew stepping in it all day long. Sorry.
Yeah, and frankly, as November approaches, the only people that are going to bring this up are going to be the Democrats who want to displace the Republicans and take back Capitol Hill. And you know what? We can't let that happen.
No, we cannot. When we come back from this break, we're going to explain what you can do about it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to use that to pivot to one of your pieces. And I know something you've been talking about, the anti-gunners all of a sudden discovering the Second Amendment. I can't wait to get your take on this. The more, as days go by on this, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer, at least to me, and I'll hold off until we come back from the break so I can explain it to Dave.
20.
But it does. It gets clearer every day. They have a problem with this. We'll talk about it with Dave Workman, journalist extraordinaire, ammoland.com, thegunmag.com, Liberty Park Press. He works over at SAF. We'll be back with Dave right after this.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, some of you might be wondering where Danielle Buck is today. And in fact, I was able to notify Greg earlier, but which is why he hasn't mentioned it either. But Danielle and the Patriot crew, their flights were late today, taking off, and they were delayed. Imagine that. So they were unable to be here, but we're going to reschedule Danielle Buck and probably try to bring in Leo or somebody else from Patriot as well. But we love Danielle Buck, but that's why she's not on the program today. That happened early this morning, and we're just thrilled to have Dave Workman with us as always. And guys, if you're watching, I'm holding up a Patriot Mobile phone, patriotmobile.com, the real deal. They now offer a ghost phone. I got the email today. Are you on the email list? They offer a super secure ghost phone. Go check this out. I am in no position to explain it to you yet. I went over and read about it today, but it's one of those things that I just kind of want. And I think you will too when you see it. Talk about a secure phone. It's called the Ghost Phone. They offer a ghost phone service. Go check it out. You can find it at patriotmobile.com/AAR and go to their main website either way. Just visit them. Use the promo code AAR if you don't go to the AAR sponsored site. Either way, and check out this new ghost phone. This thing is really, really cool. I kind of want one, so I'm glad I hadn't yet made the shift for my other phone because I haven't been able to get to the, well, let's just say their competitor, AT&T. I said that. There you go. Haven't been able to get there yet, but I am certainly going to be looking at that. I want you to go check it out. It's pretty cool. I've not seen anything like that anywhere else. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Dave Workman, welcome back to the CZ Studios with me, brother. It's always a pleasure. Let's go into this wacko gun grabber all of a sudden discovering the Second Amendment as a fundamental right on the heels of what happened in Minnesota. Here's my theory, and then you take it away. All of a sudden, their base is pro-gun because they're living under a tyrannical government. They're falling prey to all the social media nonsense out there. And they decided to put a statement out that says, look, the Second Amendment's a fundamental right. Why? Because they don't want to alienate that part of their base. And while they've always told us they support the Second Amendment, while they embrace and want to make love to every anti-gun bill they've ever seen, their base is somewhat stupid, and they know it, and they said it. My question is, Dave, how do they ever walk that back from now on? And will the Republicans be smart enough to take advantage of that and turn that into a massive campaign ad coming into the midterms, as they should, Republicans who are listening?
Well, let's get a couple of things squared away right up front. Republicans historically have snatched victory from the, or defeat from the jaws of victory. They just do this.
No truer words have been spoken.
And you know, I get along with Republicans because I think their ideas about you know, economics and business, those are all pretty good ideas, but they do some remarkably goofy things, usually in November. So, you know, moving past that, here's what I think is going on. The Democrats, once again, are trying to distract people from the obvious, which is it's been their rhetoric that has contributed, especially in Minnesota, to these demonstrations which the participants have been emboldened to confront people from ICE, from the Border Patrol, from you know, police, sheriffs, you know, whoever's there wearing a badge. And this guy shows up legally carrying a sidearm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody can dispute the fact that Mr. Pretty was legally armed under Minnesota statute.
Agreed.
He had a concealed carry, or he had a carry license. He was carrying it concealed. Only after they got him really on the ground did his jacket come up to reveal that he was armed.
Mm-hmm.
And he wound up getting shot. Now, again, I reiterate my belief that the whole situation should have never happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it did. We can't undo that. So what the Democrats are doing, and you know, I just about had a cardiac when Chuck Schumer was on TV, and he starts defending the Second Amendment. I'm looking up in the sky and I'm thinking, okay, God, take me. You did not hurt at all.
Just when you thought they couldn't, just when you thought, here it comes, you know, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I started checking to see if I'd been hit by lightning or something. But, you know, what a hypocrite. Here's a guy that has spent his entire career on Capitol Hill trying to destroy the Second Amendment, and all of a sudden he's defending somebody's Second Amendment rights. Yeah. That stinks out loud. And Schumer, of course, is a walking example of hypocrisy. I'll just say that. And so what they've done, the Democrats and the liberals suddenly discovering that the Second Amendment actually exists, way back in the back of my mind, I can't help but wonder if some of these guys, not all of them, but some of these guys, are trying to set the stage for more armed confrontations between these protesters and the Border Patrol and the ICE agents. It bothers me.
That's the first time I've heard that take.
And you know what would happen because of that? Guys like Schumer will just jump back in front of the nearest microphone and say, "We need more gun control because of this happening. We need to restrain people from having guns. We need to get more restrictive on who can have guns." Yada yada yada. They'll trot this agenda out. Probably in October, right before the midterm elections, and see how well it sells.
All right, that's an interesting take. And that, I don't disagree with you.
That bothers me.
It should. That's an interesting take, Greg. We haven't heard that take on this yet, but I will say this, and I'll tell you why I tend to believe you. Because they're clearly willing to accept collateral damage. And if you don't believe that, ladies and gentlemen, all you've got to do is go back and review their response to any shooting that has occurred in this country that they choose to use for political gain. They've got a playbook already built. It's already built. And if you need more proof, simply look at Chicago, which we have harped on for a decade and a half, almost 2 decades on this program. If they gave a damn about the safety of their constituents, they would have changed their policy decades ago. And they don't. Why? Because they're willing to accept a certain amount of collateral damage to further their agenda. To me, that's evil. I've said that, and I will never back down from that. And I do want to point out to you, I have defended Preddy's right to have a firearm from day one, but I will absolutely, under any circumstances, advise anybody who is armed and knows they're going to a place that has the potential to get violent, which he knew, particularly when we look back in hindsight at that video from 10 days earlier. If you involve yourself in law enforcement activity, ladies and gentlemen, expect it to escalate. It's that simple. Whether those, and I agree with you, Dave, whether those cops were right or wrong makes no difference at this point. Had he stayed on the sidelines, banging his pots and pans, blowing his whistle, screaming obscenities, he'd have woken up to a hot cup of coffee instead of meeting his maker and begging forgiveness for his sins. That's a flat-out fact, whether you like it or not. Facts are stubborn things, and they don't suffer fools, Dave.
Well, that's right. And you know, a bullet has no conscience.
None.
Let's just get that out of the way. But, yeah, I tend to agree with you that Mr. Preddy, he crossed that invisible line between good sense and nonsense. Again, I have to reiterate, my analysis right now stops at this. That should never have happened.
Yeah, as we go to the break, I'll go one step further. You're right, and it wouldn't have had he not crossed that line. It's pretty much that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It is cut and dry. Good heavens, what a mess. When we come back, Virginia, New Mexico, and whatever else we can cram in, because they are literally coming after your guns in the face of the Giffords saying we have a fundamental right. I wonder if Giffords is going to defend all the gun owners in New Mexico and Virginia now. Yeah, don't hold your breath. You'll die. We'll be right back.
Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Okay, guys, so I had a Teams meeting today on camera with some of the folks over at Attorneys on Retainer in Arizona, and I've got a packed schedule coming up the 18th through the 23rd. Let me tell you what it's going to be. If you are an AAR member and you're going to be in Mesa, Arizona at the Convention Center, I will be there on the 18th broadcasting from the AAR law firm, Attorneys for Freedom, at the firm. Then on Friday, that's Thursday, then on Friday I will be broadcasting with some of the attorneys again on Friday. Then I will be making my way over to the convention hall where I will be hanging out with a number of you who will be there. Then there is a 6 to 9 p.m. dinner hors d'oeuvre gathering at the hotel attached to the convention center. And then Saturday, I will be moderating 2 panels. The first panel from 2 p.m. until 2:45 is going to be a lot of fun. It's all the content creators that you get to see that you're likely subscribed to. Jared Yanis, Guns and Gadgets, Heavy Duty Country, and many others will all be there. And I'll be moderating that panel of 6 content creators, and it's going to be lively. I can promise you that. That will be immediately followed with my moderating a second panel of individuals who have used firearms to defend themselves, and Stephen Williford will be there as well, a good friend of mine, who used his AR-15 to stop the church shooting in Texas, among others who will be there, who will be telling their harrowing stories. Guys, if you're not a member of Attorneys on Retainer, now's a really good time to rethink that, okay? Now, maybe you can't make it to Phoenix if you haven't made plans already. If you can, that's great. If you're in the vicinity, join and come see us. It's free to get in if you're not a member. If you're not, it's going to cost you, but it's worth it if you can get there. If not, at the very least on short notice, and it is short notice now if you're flying from around the country, I get that. Just go online at attorneysonretainer.us/AAR and take advantage of this and have an entire team of attorneys in your hip pocket. God forbid you need to defend yourself with a firearm. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Great, folks, and I hope to see you in Mesa, Arizona. We'll be talking about that again tomorrow and on the Sunday Monstercast. Until that event occurs, then you'll be hearing us broadcast from the event. All right, so make sure to check that out. All of our great partners, including budsgunshop.com, barrelbuddy.com, all of them. You can find them all. Crossbreed Holsters, National Rifle Association, Patriots Relief. They're all there for you. But if you're watching on your screen, you see that QR code. That's blackoutcoffee.com. Made a pot of it this morning. Start my day. Get another. I think the delivery comes tomorrow or the day after because we're in desperate need of it. blackoutcoffee.com/AAR. Take advantage of everything we offer you. And don't forget to join up with Patriot Mobile, etc. It's all there for you at armedamericanradio.com. Dave Workman, welcome back. One more segment, as you know, it flies right by. It always does. Had to get a little bit of business out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk now New Mexico, another gun ban bill under the guise of, quote-unquote, assault weapon. What's an assault weapon?
Well, it's whatever they want to call it.
In this case, it's including your pistols and your rifles. Any gas-operated, which is every handgun. Anything that holds a detachable magazine, that's every handgun, every rifle. This is bad. We see the same thing going on in Connecticut. Virginia is an absolute nightmare now. They're not going to stop until Virginia is Californicated, and that is getting ready to happen, and the Republicans are powerless. Virginia is a living hell right now. Dave, what do we do if we live in a place like this right now? What's your advice?
My advice is, get off the couch and get prepared to vote in the midterms. And don't vote for anybody with a D next to their name. That's going to ignite a lot of people who consider themselves good gun owners, but they consistently vote for Democrats, which I think is beyond stupid, really, at this point, because they're voting for the very people that want to deny them one of the cornerstone rights protected in the U.S. Constitution. The one factor here, the common denominator in all of this stuff, whether you're in New Mexico, Virginia, Washington, Oregon, California, New York, they all have D sponsors. Democrats are pushing this stuff. Virginia, I have written extensively about this at least 2 or 3 times this week at thegunmag.com. Look it up. It's there. You don't have to pass a block or anything. It's there to read. The Democrats took back the state last fall. They got a new governor who's a Democrat, and while she ran as a moderate, she's certainly proving herself to be, way out there in left field on guns. They are trying to regain ground that they lost under a Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin for the last 4 years. And I also think there's a lot of payback mentality going on here. The Democrat Party now is not the Democrat Party that your mom and dad and your grandparents voted for. Those people are gone. They wouldn't even be able to allowed into a Democrat caucus right now. The Democrats right now treat everybody, especially gun owners, as the enemy. I don't know why this started. I don't know how this started or where it's coming from. But they're treating us all like second-class citizens, and you can go from state to state to state where the Democrat Party is in control of the legislature, and you see this pattern. Mm-hmm. And if that offends somebody, well, too bad.
It's just a fact.
I've been in journalism for more than 50 years. And while I may have gone into journalism thinking that, gee whiz, this is going to be great, we'll be able to work with these guys, I'm coming out of journalism here just almost on the eve of my retirement, and I'm telling myself and everybody else who will listen, you can't reason with these people. They don't care.
Well, they don't. And, guys, tie everything we just talked about today with Dave. Let's do a Jen Psaki here and circle back, okay? And if you're watching the stream, I just put a phenomenal photograph of Spanberger up against the Wicked Witch of the West, and they look identical. Take a look at that if you're watching that. Maybe we'll tweet that out later. But it's a wonderful photo. It's Virginia Governor Spanberger and the Wicked Witch of the West, and that's what's getting ready to happen to California. California's getting ready to happen to the state of Virginia. But when you tie all of this together, it's always the Democrats, and then you look at what the anti-gunners just did, all supporting the Democrats who support all of this nonsense while claiming to support the Second Amendment, on the heels of Chuck Schumer, all of a sudden finding the Second Amendment as a fundamental right. Dave, I'm only going to leave it at this. It's dangerous. And when you said the common denominator, I'm going to add one word to that, the lowest common denominator. You've got 20 seconds. Tell people where they can find you, brother. We love you.
Okay, you can read my stuff at thegunmag.com, Liberty Park Press, AmmoLand News, Northwest Sportsman for you people up here in the Pacific Northwest. And you'll find me all over the Internet, especially on Facebook and on X, which used to be Twitter. You'll find my links to my stories up there. And please, whatever else you do, support AmmoLand. They really are a voice out there. We need them. Boy,
do we ever, ladies and gentlemen. You hear a spot running here for them as well. Dave, thank you so much for everything that you do. Guys, Dave is like a Democrat, but in the good sense. He's never going to stop. And that's exactly what we need. Please join the NRA. Dave's got, join the NRA, join the Second Amendment Foundation, and help us here. The left will never stop, to quote our good friend Parkland father Ryan Petty. So vital, so important right now. Guys, we're going to get up and do this again tomorrow precisely because they don't want us to. So until we meet on the radio again tomorrow, you know what to do. Carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. See you on the radio tomorrow.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate it very much. Tomorrow, Paul Markle, student of the gun, the professor, SOTGU.com. Hope you enjoyed Dave Workman today. He's so good. He is so good. we try to give them a break. Some of these guys are trying to slow down a little bit, and they just can't. And Dave is one of them. That's why I use that last phrase there. He's like he's like a Democrat, but in the good sense. He will never stop, and we need him out there. And Dave has been a journalist on our team for decades, over 50 years, guys. So support everybody. Visit all of our great partners. Please, if you can join the National Rifle Association, please do so. It's only $35, and we need your help. Attorneys on retainer, no brainer. And if you do, I hope to see you in Phoenix. I'll be out there the 18th through the 23rd, and we will be bringing you the Sunday Monster Cast from Arizona as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend, a very busy weekend, jam-packed, but nonetheless an awful lot of fun. So come out and meet your favorite content creators. Come watch the panels that we moderate here. I'll be moderating both of those panels. You don't want to miss it. If you can swing it, please do so. Guys, love you. See you on the radio tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. You can do the math in the time zones that you live in. See you on the radio, guys. Stay safe. Thanks for being here.